Good morning. Thank you for joining us here at our office at Always Yours Occasions today. My name is Cheryl. I'm here with Kate, and today we're going to be talking about what we do behind the scenes, both at weddings and during the week.
I want to take a quick moment and just make sure, can everyone hear us okay? Is the volume all right? Reception good? All right, I'm hoping that everything's okay. So we're going to be talking a little bit today about what wedding day is like, and then also what it's like running a wedding and event planning business during the week. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the wedding day itself.
The wedding day itself is a lot of fun for us. It really is the most enjoyable of what we do. We love to plan as well. We are all about weddings and enjoy the process of it, but the wedding day is so special to see people come together to build those memories and to celebrate. So behind the scenes, we're going to give you just a short version of what we do, beginning with the fact that in general, we are the first to arrive as far as vendors if the bride has set it up that way. And we're usually the very last to leave. And it's busy from the time we get there until we leave.
Yeah, it's all hands on deck, and we absolutely love wedding day. So we get to the venue, and we usually go to the dressing rooms first and post a schedule of that day, the wedding day timeline for all of the bridal party. Usually we've given it out to anybody who wants it the day before, but we want to make sure that they can refer to it as they're getting ready.
Yes. And then in addition to checking in with the vendors throughout the day to make sure that everything is going smoothly, we keep a close eye on our bride and groom to make sure that they have absolutely everything that they need. Now, depending on what the bride has hired us for, we are there to supervise the setup and, again, see that things are going smoothly. But sometimes we are also hired to do the majority of the setup.
There's one wedding that we did where I think we must have tied probably 100 chair sashes, which, a lot of weddings are bigger than that. So you may think 100, that's not that big of a deal. But, it's fun. It's really neat being able to do the decorating, but it does take time to do each individual sash. And so it's one thing that we really enjoy doing, but it's something that we definitely need to budget in as far as the timeline for that day.
Right, because that was a pretty elaborate wedding. We had 2 tablecloths to put on the table, the napkins to do, and in addition, we dressed out the buffet tables, the head table. I remember you were tying these beautiful rosettes to create into a swag for that wedding. And so there is the enjoyable aspect of helping to style and design the weddings for some brides as well.
We also, of course, make sure that we give ceremony direction. So we're cueing each member of the bridal party on when they're ready to go down the aisle, and then we're watching to make sure everything goes smoothly. One of us might go and start preparing a few things for the reception, and then we make sure everybody gets back down the aisle well. And so after that, it's basically time to get ready for that reception, for that big party that everyone's looking forward to.
And I remember that sometimes things happen. The unexpected is exactly that. It's a surprise. And there have been several surprises at weddings that we have done. I remember this one in particular where a bridesmaid came to you about her bouquet.
Yeah, she had a beautiful bouquet. Some of these stems were a little delicate, so I'm not sure what happened. But at some point during the ceremony, they had snapped. And so she came over and was pretty upset. And they were about to take pictures, and so she asked us if there was any way that we could fix it. Thankfully, we, of course, have our wedding emergency kit, and so I whipped out that floral tape and some corsage pins, and I cobbled it back together, made it strong enough for her to be able to take all of those pictures and hold it and really just enjoy that time.
And there was another wedding where we had gotten in and had counted all the rentals and found out that we were short. Mm-hmm. And so thankfully we were able to work with the rental company and the caterer to make sure that we had everything we needed. But that was also the wedding that unexpected guests came. There were extra guests that showed up, and I remember that we were trying to find an extra table, which we did, and set up an entire extra table. This was over and above a few extra place settings that we had already anticipated, but it was so delightful to be able to see the looks on those guests' faces, to know that they had a place that they could actually sit and enjoy the wedding that day.
And to feel that they were being taken care of.
Yes.
Yes. We've also had a wedding where one of the tables, or a few of the tables, were a little bit wobbly, and there were these beautiful centerpieces, but it was a very tall glass vase with about 1.5 feet in diameter worth of floral centerpiece on top. And because of the little bit of wobble in the table, which normally wouldn't be an issue at all, those centerpieces were in danger of toppling over. So we ended up needing to call the florist at the last minute and ask if they had any vases that were a little bit shorter, and they did, and they were already about to go out on delivery, and so they were amazing and brought us same style vases but just slightly shorter so that they would be more secure and that there wouldn't be danger of these vases falling over and the centerpieces being ruined.
So in addition to all of this, managing the reception and doing the troubleshooting of issues so the bride and groom can relax and really not even know what's going on, if at all possible, we try to absorb all of that so that the bride and groom, the family, does not realize what is happening, and they can just enjoy their day. One of the things that we are very diligent about is providing meals for the bride and groom. I don't know how many of you have seen the video that we did on our story, but I had a wedding day comedy of errors, and one of the things that had happened that day was we got to our reception and there was no food left. Everybody had eaten everything. And so we make sure that the caterer or us puts together that the meals for the bride and groom so they have plenty to eat when they get to the reception.
Yes. And then we're also there through the end of the event, making sure everything wraps up well and that the bridal party takes home all of their pieces and that the vendors can finish everything up and that the venue is ready to shut down for the evening. So that's always a lot of fun. Sometimes there are some unexpected benefits to that, like when you get to take home extra cake.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
then sometimes at the end of the night, we also gather all the flowers or the centerpieces that the bride and groom or their families or their guests don't want, and they want to donate to this organization called Random Acts of Flowers that's here in Knoxville. And this organization takes all of these flowers and puts them together in new arrangements and then sends them to places like hospital rooms, assisted living facilities, nursing. Yeah, I see Christina. Yep, I'm all for extra cake. I agree. Yeah. So Random Acts of Flowers takes them to all of these places where people don't get out much and where a bouquet of flowers really brightens up their day. And they pick up at some locations, but some of the venues that we work at are outside of Knoxville, and so when they don't pick up in those areas, we're usually loading all of those centerpieces and bouquets into the back of our car. And I always love looking back and seeing this sea of flowers and thinking how many people are going to be so happy when they see these gorgeous flowers in their rooms.
Well, we're here today at Always Yours Occasions giving you a glimpse into behind-the-scenes wedding planner life. And if you can't tell, Kate and I are mother and daughter. And we have just finished talking about a little bit about the behind-the-scenes on the wedding days. But now we're going to go into talking more about what we do during the week as we're planning the wedding.
So during the week, we are working on current events that we have. We are meeting with our clients. We're meeting with vendors. And it's different each week as far as the different meetings that we have. You know, we may be meeting with the caterer. We may be going to the rental place. We do a lot of different meetings depending on what the client has hired us to do. And we're filling in our wedding day blueprint. And that gives us the basis for a very important piece of wedding planning, which is the wedding day timeline. So for the wedding day timeline, we're constantly filling that in. And usually we try to have that done a month ahead of time. And that's where we pull together all of the different things that the vendors do. We budget in for their timelines and what they need to prepare for their part of wedding day. We're bringing in all those special moments that the bride and the groom have with each other, with their family, with their guests. And we're accounting for each small piece of the wedding and putting it on paper so everyone can see.
I'd like to talk just a little bit more about that wedding blueprint that we do for our brides and our grooms too. When we bring brides on in the beginning, we set them up with an overview for their wedding day blueprint. And they can be very simple. If we're simply doing a week of coordination, then that's going to be a lot less involved than something that we are actually planning the wedding for the bride and groom and hiring the vendors, or they actually hire the vendors, but suggesting the vendors, getting them set up and connected and that sort of thing, and doing the actual design and style. But a wedding blueprint gives us an idea of who is involved in the wedding, the vision that the bride and groom have, and it's something that we can share. We use Google Plus and Google Drive to share with our clients to be able to be in communication, which is a huge part of what we do during the week, is that communication, making sure that everybody has what they need.
We work on creating educational resources for our clients. So we take the questions that our clients have and we transform those into tools that can help them in the planning process, that can answer their questions. And so that's part of what we do as well. And then we are constantly seeking to improve just our customer service that we can provide to our clients, making the onboarding process easier, being able to provide them with faster responses with what they need, and make the whole process seamless from start to finish.
And then in addition to that, we are also doing a lot of ongoing education ourselves, whether it's learning about the current trends in the wedding industry, or how we can become better at what we do, how we can hone our skills to be more, current and stay current in the wedding industry.
Yes, and then also business training to keep learning in that aspect of how to run a business. And that's actually another thing that we do each week is, we work in the business. We do all of the bookkeeping and the paperwork. And, right now it's tax season, so we're in QuickBooks and making sure everything's going to be ready to file taxes. We drink copious amounts of coffee.
And eat chocolate.
And light candles and play music. That's just how we roll. And so it's all of those nitty-gritty aspects of running a business that, you need to make sure that you do each week. And so that's definitely a part of our typical work week. And then finally, we do a lot of social media and we do other marketing. And so we're making sure that we take time, usually each day, to... Oh, I see. Yes, coffee is amazing when you deal with taxes.
Yes,
I'm glad someone else agrees. But we're taking time to make sure that we can communicate with our social media followers out there and reach potential brides and grooms and continue educating people on wedding planning. We can provide inspiration. We can tell them stories from weddings that we've done that we hope will encourage them on their wedding planning journey.
Absolutely. And speaking of social media, we would like to, for those of you who have tuned in right now, we would love to open it up for questions. Do you have any particular question that for us as wedding planners or about wedding planning as a business?
It takes a while to type a question.
Yes, it does.
I don't want to rush on
does.
too quickly.
Well, I think one of the questions that we've had that tends to be a recurring question is, working together as mother and daughter and organizing our day. And that is something that we did cover in our story in a previous video. So we invite you to tune into that and see. But we actually work really well together. We have learned what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are and how to put those together.
All right, well, we thank you so much for tuning in today and for hanging out with us. We would love for you to like and share this video. And then also, if you have not yet followed us across social media, please do so. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Google+, Pinterest, Twitter, and we have a blog. So we would love for you to like and follow us across all of the social media platforms. The links to those is in the description to this video. And then one more thing, this next Tuesday we're going to be doing another live video on either a DIY tutorial or focusing on one aspect of wedding planning. You decide. Tune in the comments, let us know what you would love to learn. Ask us your questions about what it's like to be a wedding planner and run a wedding planning business. If you're watching this after we go off today, we'd still love to hear from you and answer your questions. Thank you so much again for sharing time with us and for watching this video. Until then, it's your occasion.
Make it always yours.